In this video, we will talk about a very huge problem for many autistic people. It is overload, overload of their sensory systems. Because of Gestalt perception, because of their inability to filter out irrelevant stimuli, and all these distortions and fragmentation caused by Gestalt perception, they are very, very easily overloaded. So, sensory overload and Gestalt perception that caused this sensory overload can lead to several different routes. And it is important to remember, Gestalt perception, sensory overload, and something they themselves develop to protect themselves from all this bombardment. One of them is system shutdowns. It means they can switch off all their sensory channels or the painful sensory channel, for example, hearing. They can be present physically, but absent mentally. They are still there, and if this system shut down, they can shut down completely, as is switch off this channel. If it happens early in life, it creates self-imposed sensory deprivation. And quite a few people write about it. For example, Temple Grandin, Donna Williams, and others describe it. Some children cannot tolerate when someone touching them. It's too much. And that's why they pull away from people. This is their strategy to cope with this overstimulation, sensory overload. They learn very early in life to control their environment. Even when we do not suspect anything yet, I mean that this baby would be diagnosed autistic and whatever. Very early in life, they can sort of have this self-imposed sensory deprivation. They can shut down the sensory system, which is very painful for them. And system shutdowns lead to sensory agnosia. Sensory agnosia is difficulty interpreting a sense, and that's why they can feel or act as if they are blind or deaf, and because their sensory systems shut down completely. They seem not to know what their body is doing. They may become disoriented after certain changes in the environment. And of course, what helps is rituals. They start sort of behaving ritually, just to give meaning, some meaning of this situation. And there is another possible scenario, and by the way, some don't think that it is negative, but I think these difficult behaviors are signs that they want to be with us. All these difficult children, they're difficult because they continue to try to process all the information coming in, despite their inability to cope or to interpret. And it may result in hypersensitivity, distortions, and of course, anxiety, confusion, frustration, and stress, and meltdowns and difficult behaviors. Those children whom we call difficult are actually motivated to be with us, and this is a good sign. We have to teach them how to protect themselves. They develop certain strategies already to protect themselves, and we have to accommodate environment. That's why make the environment less polluted with irrelevant information, because children cannot learn if they are bombarded with painful stimuli through all the systems from the environment. So let's help them. So it is important to recognize the first signs of sensory overload, because it is better to prevent it than to deal with the consequences. As soon as you notice these early signs of coming sensory overload, By the way, they are very different from four different individuals. You have to know this particular person. I'll give you just one example. For my son, the first sign of coming, at least it was when he was a teenager, is his lips. His lips become one line, and I know that I have only about 30 seconds to take himself out of the situation, to help him to manage it, and give him space to calm and to pull himself together and relax. For other children or adults, the signs are very different. So you have to know this person. And as soon as you notice these early signs, stop the activity, whatever you were doing, and provide time and space to recover. But, and it's very important, but it is okay. You know your child, you know how to help him, you know the signs. You can recognize and take the child out of this situation. But we cannot be with our children all the time, like now. Even, you know, they will be in different situation without you. That is why it is important to teach them to notice these signs and to help them to learn how to use different strategies to prevent this problem. Sort of, you describe how they can feel inside their bodies. For example, if you feel butterfly in your tummy, get out, get out. Just sit somewhere in the corner and shut down your hearing, close your eyes and breathe, and teach them, you know, these breathing techniques and whatever helps your particular child, who can be an adult like mine. He's 37 right now, but he knows when to remove himself from the situations if all this sensory stimulation becomes very painful. And at school, or whatever colleges or kindergarten, first aid kit should be always at hand, and it's not for medical um, items, but sunglasses, ear plugs, squeezy toys, and favorite objects, something known to the child. And by the way, I need help card. Create I need help card, which will be very useful, and teach them how to use it. Because even high functioning people with autism, sometimes adults, I mean, not just children, can lose the ability to talk. It is not mutism, even not this selected mutism. No, it is overwhelming sensory stimulation and this sensory overload. So at least they will give this card when they feel that they cannot express themselves, explain their difficulty to anyone, and they will be helped. And we have to teach children and adults how to use this and let them have this safety object, which can be anything: a toy, a piece of string, a kitchen towel, a pencil even, or a card. I will show you these pictures. Uh, this boy outside, and look at his face. You can see he's relaxed and happy. And what is it in his hand? It is a pink card without any pictures. It is like an anchor, and it is something he feels safe with. And he used to carry this card, meaningless card, all the time with him when we went. Yes, it is my son. When we went out, and then I will show you in these two pictures. You see the same child, about 5 years between these two pictures, and two different countries, and the same object in his hand. And look at his face. You can see he's relaxed. He doesn't mind all the changes because he's got this in his hand. I will tell you what it is. It is reindeer, Rudolph. And it was free toy during Christmas shopping, children were given this Rudolph. For whatever reason, he doesn't recognize it as Rudolph. He called this toy Gnome. And wherever we went, especially traveling like this in two different countries, he needed his Gnome. No, it wasn't a toy for him. It was his safety object. It was his companion. And he couldn't sleep without Gnome. He has to put, again, he didn't talk to this toy. He didn't play with it. But when he went to bed, he put this Gnome under his chin and he fell asleep. And it worked. It's okay. And of course, this Gnome went through washing machine hundreds of times for many years, and a lot of patches on his back and on his tummy. Yes, now it retired. It's still in his bedroom. It's on the shelf. It's like, very respectful retirement. After Gnome, these were elephants. And in this picture, you can see this colorful elephant in his hand. Yes, he was about 18 here. And the question is it age appropriate? I can answer, no, it isn't age appropriate. But if you ask me, do I care? No. Because as I said, it is not a toy. It is something that is very important for him. His safety object. And when we travel, he doesn't need it all the time. It doesn't mean he goes around the house with an elephant in his head. No. But when we travel somewhere very far and stay in the hotel and whatever, it's okay that he has this elephant, in this case, on his bed. And I don't care what the person who cleans the room think about it. It doesn't matter. It is not embarrassing for him. It is very private. And even now, he's 37. He doesn't play with them. Of course, it is a different elephant. He's got a collection of elephants, and I can show you here. He doesn't play with them. They are not toys. And what is more, he doesn't give names to them. It's like, as I said, safety objects. He identifies these elephants, either a blue elephant or gray elephant or whatever. And as I said, it wasn't embarrassing. It doesn't matter because it was very, very private. Now, still, he has to have his elephant if we go traveling. It is important to help them, right? To adjust the environment and accept their strategies, or perhaps even help them to develop these strategies to protect themselves in difficult environments, for them difficult environments. And we will discuss what else we can do to help them to deal with hypersensitivities, hypersensitivities, all this overload in next time.